everybody! I'm here today to talk to you about driving a turbocharged car. And I will specifically be telling you, don't forget to do these 5 things in a turbocharged car. So these are 5 things that you should always do in a turbocharged car. Definitely don't forget to do them. Let's get right into the video. Number 1 is rip it once in a while. That's right, I'm telling you to rip it once in a while. So basically, your car, as long as it's a relatively new car, can handle it. Now, the turbochargers in new cars have been tested to such extremes that they can handle being absolutely ripped once in a while. And not only that, it's good for the turbo, because when you absolutely floor that gas pedal, the turbo spools up and it just spins as fast as it can spin. And you know what? It's going to be good because it gets all of the parts moving at sort of their highest speeds that they can move at. Don't rip it all the time, or I mean, your turbo's going to go, your whole engine's going to go, your whole car's going to go. But if you rip it once in a while, it can be really good for the car. So every once in a while, just give it a rip, okay? And let's face it, you probably want to do that anyways. It's fun once in a while in a safe scenario, in a safe situation. Doesn't mean you got to break the speed limit. You can, floor it up until the speed limit when you're merging onto the highway, and that's still ripping it, and you're not breaking the speed limit. So I'm not telling you to break the speed limit, but rip it once in a while. Number 2, warm up the car before driving the car, or go light on the throttle. So you want to warm up the car before actually driving it. Sorry, I'm trying to read and think at the same time. Sometimes that happens. You get like, you can't speak. So you got to warm it up before you drive it, or go light on the throttle. So you have 2 options. You can start the car and warm it up, and don't drive it at all. Warm it up for like a few minutes max, okay? Or you can start the car and start driving right away after like 10 seconds, but go light on the throttle. And that's because the oil in the engine and in the turbo need to warm up. The oil needs to warm up. So basically, you need that oil to warm up. If the oil is cold, it's going to be less viscous. Think like Jello instead of like orange juice, right? Jello is going to be like very almost solid, right? Whereas orange juice is just going to flow. Now, when it's less viscous, it doesn't lubricate the parts effectively. And that can cause some wear and tear, especially if you're doing it constantly. So basically, you want to warm up the car before driving, or go light on the throttle. Sorry about that. I guess I should make my notes, my script over here a little bit better next time so I don't stumble over my words so much. The third thing that you should never forget to do when driving a turbocharged car is let the engine cool before turning it off. So you want to make sure you let the engine cool before turning it off. That's because the oil needs to cool down before settling. You don't want that hot oil to settle within the turbo. Now, the good thing is that in most modern cars, they're going to have a system in the car that causes the oil system to keep running even after you've shut the engine off. So you turn the engine off, and in many modern cars, most modern cars that have a turbo, the oil system is going to keep pumping. So it's going to let the oil cool before it settles. But if you're not sure if that's the case, then, just stop driving and let it cool for a few quick minutes before you turn the car off. There are also different upgrades that you can do to your car that will allow that to happen. Basically you can modify your car to make that happen as well if it's an older car. There are different things. I don't want to go into it, but you can look into it yourself. The 4th thing that you want to never forget to do in a turbocharged car is use the recommended fuel octane level. So the fuel octane level affects the engine. So if you use below what is recommended or even required, then it's going to affect your engine in a negative way, which will in turn affect your turbo in a negative way because they're connected. So if you want and this is especially true with a turbocharged car, like if it requires like premium grade gas, then get premium. I know it's going to cost you more, but trust me, paying for a new turbo or repairing a turbo, the cost for repairing a turbo is going to far outweigh the extra amount that you're going to spend on gas. And if you don't want to pay for the gas, then choose a car that doesn't need that gas. It's as simple as that. If you're buying a car, you should be able to buy the gas that is required for that car. Okay, you should be able to budget for it. And basically, last but not least, the 5th thing that you should never forget to do in a turbocharged car is don't lug the engine, okay? So please don't lug the engine. And now lugging the engine is basically when you choose a high gear, at a low RPM for low speed. So like if I'm supposed to be in second gear, but all of a sudden I shift to fourth gear, then the engine is going to be like, you know, you feel like there's no power. That's really bad for the turbo, really bad for the turbo specifically. So don't do that in a turbocharged car. This is a bigger deal, obviously, with a manual car or a car where you can shift. If you're driving an automatic car, it shouldn't lug. The automatic transmission should choose the right gear. But if you're driving a manual car or one where you can choose the gear with the levers, then you got to keep this in mind. And that's it. Those are 5 things that you should never forget to do in a turbocharged car. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.